Howdy there, y'all. Welcome back to Britt Rachelle's Kitchen. It's me, Britt Rachelle, wishing you a happy Easter. And this Easter is extra special because we are not only celebrating the resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ, no sir, no ma'am. We are also witnessing the resurrection of our fundamental First Amendment rights. That's right, and in celebration we are making Afroman's Mama's world famous lemon pound cake. For this lemon pound cake, you're just going to need a handful of ingredients now. You're going to need 1.5 cups of flour, all-purpose now, a teaspoon of baking powder, a half teaspoon of salt, a cup of butter softened to room temperature. I usually just let mine set out a few hours before baking. 4 eggs, same number of officers that raided his house. A cup of sugar, a 1/4 cup of lemon juice, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. You'll also need some items for a glaze, which that one's easy peasy. That's just a 1/3 cup of lemon juice and a 1/3 cup of powdered sugar. Let's apron up and get started, y'all. Come on down to the kitchen, get yourself in the mood. 'Cause when Britt gets to cooking, you're in for some good food. Yeah! That them there's the colors of freedom. First up's our prep step. You're going to get your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and prep your loaf pan. To prep our loaf pan, we're going to butter it and line it with some parchment paper. I was tossing about a tablespoon or 2 of butter in there, and we're just going to wipe it all down, spread it all around with a paper towel. Beautiful. Here comes parchment paper. I'm going to tear a lengthwise piece and just tuck it in. Now, if you're like me, you may be asking, why did I just butter it if I'm just going to line it with parchment paper anyways? You know, I don't know myself, but this is Afroman's mama's recipe, so I ain't questioning nothing. I'm just going to do as I am told with this pound cake. We're going to set that to the side and get our dry ingredients together. Here we're going to combine our flour, our baking powder, and our salt just to get it all nice and ready to get into our batter. Tell you what, I already tried this recipe before, and I don't blame that officer pound cake for trying to get himself a slice. It is delish. Let's go whisk it all together. All right, easy peasy. Now we're gonna set this to the side and pull out the mixer. Now we've got our nice soft butter. We're gonna chuck it into our stand mixer. You can also use a hand mixer if you've got one. And we're gonna cream the butter so that it's nice and, well, creamy. You gotta be smooth like Afroman's singing voice. Listen to that man read the phone book. Or wrap it. You can make a wrap into just about anything, I do declare. And put on our cover so it don't splash everywhere, and get to beating. That is beautiful, nice and smooth and creamy. Now we're going to toss in our cup of sugar and cream the butter and sugar together. Now you can lower the sugar in this if you'd like. Just know that it may be a little more tart in this case because of all the lemon juice. Now yet again, we mix. You may need to scrape down the sides of the bowl just to make sure that you want that. You don't want any loose sugar or anything like that. You want the butter and the sugar to go together like Afroman in a red, white, and blue tuxedo. There we go. We're gonna scrape down the sides of the bowl one more time and then add the eggs in one at a time. By that I mean I'm gonna let it mix, add an egg. Once I see it's combined, add the next one, rinse and repeat for all 4 eggs. Alright, once more, scraping down the sides of that bowl, we're going to add our vanilla and mix again. We're getting into it now. All right, putting in our dry ingredients. Just gonna gently whisk them into the bowl here. Not only we added our dry ingredients, we're adding the pièce de résistance, what's gonna give us that delicious lemon flavor, our lemon juice. Now you can use fresh squeeze if you like. I find this works just the same. You go and just pour that 1/4 cup in. There we go. Maybe a little extra splash for a little extra lemon flavor. And what do? That's right, we mix. I'm gonna go ahead and scrape down the sides of that bowl and let it mix a little longer. The key is for this batter to be nice and smooth. We also want all this powder that poofed up on the side of the bowl in there. We got this nice smooth batter here. We're gonna get it into our prepared cake pan now. There we go. I just used my rubber spatula to flatten out the top a little bit. Now you don't need a warrant to put this in the oven, so just pop it on in and bake it for, the recipe says about 60 to 70 minutes. I'd go ahead and check on that at around 45. My first attempt, it got a little bit too burnt, so I'm wanting just a nice golden crust on the outside. Alright, I'm going to set my alarm for 45 minutes, but again, this can take up to 60 to 70 depending on a multitude of factors. Alright, see y'all in a bit. Woo-wee! That smells so good. We're going to go ahead and pull this out of the oven. Oh yeah, see that nice and gold on top? When they put a knife or a toothpick in it, it comes out clean. We're going to let that cool for 15 minutes. And while that cools, we can get the glaze going. Now for this glaze, we're just going to mix 1/3 cup of powdered sugar with 1/3 cup of lemon juice. Now if you'd like, if you want a little thicker, you can add more powdered sugar as needed. But again, that's just dependent on how thick you want your glaze. And we're just going to whisk it until it's thoroughly combined. No more lumps, no more visible sugar. thick. You can see it dripping off there. And it's closer to opaque. You don't want it to look, you know, runny like the lemon juice itself. You want it to be nice and, you know, nice light yellow color. Just a touch more. There we go. All right, I'm just gonna let that sit. And once the cake is cold, we're gonna put it on a nice wire rack and get to glazing that there cake. Now that we've let our pound cake cool, we're gonna get it onto this wire rack. Just like I said before. Well, there you go. Oh yeah, nice and buttery. Oh yeah, once you get that nice and peeled off and get it off. There we go. Oh my gosh, I wanna cut into it already, but it's not ready yet. It's still a little warm. Oh, that looks good, but we are not ready to cut into it yet. No siree, it's still a little warm. So we're gonna go and take that glaze we just made and put it all over the cake. I'm gonna use that with this little basting brush here. Mix it up good and get it all over that cake. If you want to be less fancy with it, you can just kind of drizzle it on like so. Leave no side unglazed. It's okay if it's a little thick, especially on the top, because when it dries, it'll be that lovely signature white flavor that we all love. And if it ain't, well, it'll have a nice little sheen to it, a little shine. And we ain't icing our cake, we're just glazing it. There we go, very pretty. And you're basically gonna do this all over your cake until you're out of glaze. So be liberal and be creative. Do a little pour over. It's okay to leave a little thicker on the top so that it looks pretty. There we go. That's where that pour and spread method comes in. You'll see it's quite thick now. That's all right. We're gonna let it be thick. Thicker than a Snicker. Just gonna do the rest on top. There we go. Now it's gonna look like that lemon pound cake and all the memes. Actually, if you wanted that, you have to do it in a bundt pan, but I decided to use a loaf pan because that's what Afroman said to do in her recipe now. There we go. All right, we're gonna let that drip. And we're gonna cover that and let that cool until it is completely cooled, like room temperature cold. Whew! You know, I did say you don't need to put this in the fridge to cool it off, but if you want to speed up the process, you can always use that money that the sheriff's office stole from you. Alright, that's enough of that. It's plenty cooled. I got my plate. We've got a knife. We're going to cut off a slice of lemon pound cake. There we go. I'm going to be particular because I like me the middle piece. Ooh, look at that. That is one rich looking pound cake. It's nice and glossy and glazed because, well, it was glazed. Let me go get a fork. We'll do a proper taste test.
What
the hell are you doing?
Sorry, man.
Oh, hell no. You got a warrant?
No.
You got a warrant?
I'm just setting that down, man. There you go.
I mean, are you sure you want a recipe? Hell no, you better be trying that
Yeah.
pound cake. Make it worth my while.
Put this in here. Oh. That's more of a pound cake. Moist. Lemonade. Oh. No.
I know my rights.
No.
All right.
No.
This Adams County asshole's gonna eat my pound cake, and while he's doing that, you best be subscribing to all my socials: BrittRachelle.com, BrittRachelle.card.co. Are you taking more?
More cake.
Hell no, that's not. Before I get wrongly carted off to jail, make sure you follow all my socials. I'm on Twitch, Instagram, OFTV, Twitter. If it exists, I'm probably on it. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Easter and stay peachy.
I got any backup. She's resisting arrest.
How am I?
Alright. We're not gonna record this.
Hey, don't you turn off my video camera.
No.
Hey, I got
record
rights.
this.
That's my video. Sheriff Walters is a son of a bitch. Ooh. That's why I fucked his wife and got filthy rich. Ooh. Lemon pound cake. It tastes so nice. Made the sheriff wanna put down his gun and pick up a slice. They found no kidnapping victims, just some lemon pound cake. That's all I remember.
Alright, you're not in jail yet.
Well, I didn't do nothing wrong.
Ah! Oh, good taste.
Sheriff Walker is a son of a bitch.